Hello, I'm Todd Phillips, the editor of Canadian Auto Dealer magazine. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and there's a number of initiatives happening this month. One of them is happening in the auto industry. The Global Automakers of Canada is hosting an event, a live event and an in-person event, really dealing with the mental health issue in our industry. So we've got on the line today David Adams, president of the Global Automakers of Canada. David, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Todd.
David, tell us a bit about the where and when the event's happening, and the format and really the catalyst, what led to the creation of this event.
Sure. The event is taking place on May 13th. It's got an in-person component to it, which is being hosted at Denton's Law Firm, 77 King Street West, downtown Toronto. They were gracious enough to open up their event space for us to use. And then it was important for our members that there be a live streaming component to it as well, so that their employees and associates right across the country from one coast to the other could participate in the event as well at the same time that it was occurring. The event will also be recorded and will be available afterwards, of course, but wanted to ensure that both the in-person and the live streaming component could occur at the same time. In terms of the catalyst around the event and why we ended up pursuing it is, I guess we've had in place for about 2.5 years now, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee here at the association. We were looking for an initiative that we could kind of kickstart the activity of the committee and bring it to have it coalesce more together as a group. And I think one of the things that came out of a benchmarking exercise that we did with a number of our member companies, not all of them, again, about 2 years ago, was the issue of mental health and just how pervasive the issue of mental health was and really all of the different feedback that came back to the firm that assisted us with this benchmarking survey. So that led us down the path of trying to stand up an event for Mental Health Awareness Month here in May, and we were fortunate enough to find partners and sponsors to assist us in making this happen. So we really appreciate the assistance that we've received there, and we can get more into that if you'd like to.
Sure. So, it's obviously it's a tough industry. I don't want to pick on the auto industry, but it's tough. It's fast paced. A lot of is expected of people. There's a lot of excitement around it, but there's a lot of change. In particular, I'll leave aside issues like tariffs and the sort of up and down upheaval, but it can be a grind for people, and it's something that also people don't talk about a lot. There's still to this day too much stigma around even discussing mental health or talking about it. Is that something that you're hoping that the panel, and you're one of the panelists as well, will address and to try to kind of open up a dialogue about this, about the health of the employees in the sector?
Certainly, and that's a real component of what we're hoping to achieve by the event, and sort of thought that it was important actually to have men be on the panel, not entirely men, but men be on the panel, because I think men, perhaps more so than women, have we all tend to have sort of a bit of a stoicism about us, and that we don't need to go and talk to a therapist. We don't need to go to a counselor. We don't need that all that stuff is I don't need that. I'm strong enough to deal with it. And then it's really trying to, as you say, kind of bring down the stigma of talking about mental health, increasing the transparency around the fact that like we're all dealing with different issues and challenges in our lives. And I think a lot of us tend to be relatively private people, and we don't necessarily make that the topic of discussion around the water cooler or at the lunch table. But I think there's a lot of people that are actually suffering in silence and trying to do the best job that they can at work. But the reality is that we wouldn't think badly of somebody who needed perhaps special accommodation at work if they had a physical disability or suffering with broken bones and that sort of thing. And I think we're sort of looking at it through the lens that mental health really should be no different. And the more we're able to understand and help the people that we're working with and that are employed by us, then the stronger those individuals will be, and more resilient they'll be, and the better employees they'll be for the company at the end of the day.
And as well, we won't get into your whole story here because I'm sure that'll be shared during the panel, but you're going to be joining the panel as well, sharing some of your journey. You're, as you say, a well-regarded leader. You're in a very, solid position in the association, in the industry. So for you to come forward and say, I'm going to share some of my own journey really helps. And kudos to you for doing that. So, maybe just tell us a little bit about that, and maybe we'll save the best for the webinar, the event.
Yeah. Well, it's still at this red hot moment, I'm not entirely clear what my opportunity to chat is going to be, but you know, and I certainly feel very fortunate in so many different ways throughout all the my working career, all the things that have happened in my life. But certainly my life hasn't been easy, but there are many who've had far more challenging issues that they've had to deal with. But when I was certainly a school age kid, whatever, 6, 7, 8, 9, I had a lot of learning disabilities that I had to overcome. And fortunately, my mom had the time, energy, and patience to assist me in overcoming those learning disabilities. But I think the other reality is that those anytime you're somewhat different from other people, that creates a whole other challenge and dynamic that you have to overcome. And I think that's something that frankly I've probably been dealing with all my life a little bit, just sort of feeling like a little bit on the outside and never kind of part of whatever normal society is. So I mean that certainly will be part of what I think I'm going to talk about on the 13th, and more as my life evolved and sort of got into the position that I'm in now. And there's different challenges, as you say, and every industry has its own challenges. But I think the auto industry in Canada is essentially a branch plant industry. We have like 2 people in Canada for people to do the same job, and there's a department of 20 or something in the United States or elsewhere. So I think there is a lot of stress and a lot of expectation on people, and I think the reality is that hey, we're all human and we're all going to face challenges from time to time, and that's natural. And it's like how do we overcome those challenges and assist one another.
Well, you mentioned the road to resilience is the theme, and yeah, I think you hit on that term a number of times. I know the CADA in their own they run a benefits program. That's a national dealer association, and the number one cost to dealers in the program is both short-term and long-term disability claims are really a huge toll on the industry. So there's a business cost to not addressing the mental health challenges in the workplace, addressing them, talking about them, getting people help or support. It actually leads to added costs. So is that going to be some of what's discussed, if you will, the economic cost or burden of not really having fully engaged, healthy employees at their desks?
Yeah, for sure, and that's certainly part of the front end of the seminar. Is our moderator is going to come and provide some of the most recent research results in the mental health field, how pervasive mental health challenges are in the modern workplace. To your point, some of the costs associated with not addressing mental health challenges, and also not just what the challenges are, but what help exists out there to assist businesses that are looking to take better care of their employees, but also individuals who may not know where to go if they are feeling challenged and perhaps don't want to talk to their employer about it, but are seeking help to try and help them over the hump and get back on track.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to the event. Maybe just the last word to the sponsors. I mean, and the Global Automakers of Canada is sort of spearheading this, but you mentioned one of them, Denton's, a law firm, is opening up their office, and there's others, I guess, including us at Universus, trying to help get this event underway. So maybe just a little nod to the sponsors.
No, for sure, and absolutely, and any event like this couldn't have been done without the assistance of the sponsors, and we don't have the resources internally to do it, and a lot of the genesis of this idea came around, just discussions at the Automotive Business School of Canada reception before the February Auto Show. So everything links back to the Automotive Business School. But no, I had some dialogue with Tim Demopoulos at Automotive News, and introduced me to the folks at RBC, and RBC agreed to provide some sponsorship funds for us to be able to hold this event. And Automotive News agreed that they would assist us with the marketing and that sort of thing. And then both Canadian Automotive Dealer, Electric Autonomy Canada, APMA, other trade associations have been also very generous in building the awareness of this event and to their own constituents. So we're hopeful that we're going to have a really excellent event. And of course, Universus, in terms of helping us live stream this, has been a real partner in pulling this together as well. And there's you look at everything that's going on right at the moment, and one could say, well, why would we take time to do a mental health event? Well, my perspective as well, it's exactly the time when we should be doing a mental health event, when there is so much going on in our industry right now that is stressful, disconcerting, unknowable in terms of what the outcomes are going to be. Because real resilience, I think, is being able to to go through things. It's not avoiding things, but it's to go through things and to come out the other side.
Well, I thank you for that, and I look forward to taking part and watching the event next Tuesday. And even for those of who see this interview and the event's already happened, that's okay. It's going to be recorded, as you say. You can reach out to us or to the Global Automakers of Canada. Make sure you can get a copy of the link to share with your teams as well. So, David, hey, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Todd, again. Appreciate it.